Hello kids, how are you? So kids, we are going to start today chapter number 2, that is family traits and senses. So let's revise. Measure the heights of all your family members and answer the following questions. First, your height in inches. The tallest member of your family, the shortest member of your family. How many inches shorter are you from your father? Difference between heights of your brother, sister and you. So students, you have to answer these questions accordingly. Now let's begin. All living things grow. As we grow, there is an increase in our height and weight. Our body organs too increases in size. As we grow up, our bones become larger. Tiny units called cells present in our body multiply and increase in number. This leads to our growing up taller, bigger with age. Measuring height. Our height is usually expressed in units of foot and inches. So student, do you know what is your height? Okay, let's move on further. To measure your height, you should stand resting your back to a wall and ask someone to place a ruler or scale on your head and put a mark. Now measure your height from the floor to the mark with the help of measuring tape. Here you can see a kid is measuring her height. Now let's understand the similarities and dissimilarities in a family. So students, does all your members in your family look alike? Let's see. All of us resemble our family members in many ways. To understand it better, let us look at Pankaj and his family. Pankaj has curly hair, same as his father's. His smile resembles that of his mother's. His sister, Monica, can sing well just like his grandmother. Pankaj's father's voice resembles with his grandfather's voice. Pankaj's friend Puneet has a twin brother. They are identical twins. They resemble each other so much that it is difficult to tell them apart. But many members of our family have unique and different qualities too. Some of them can cook well, some can paint well, some can dance well, while some of them are good at sports. Our friends too have different qualities. Some of them are good in studies, while some of them are good in debates. Each one of us is unique and different. So student, which quality do you have? Now let's move on further. We have an activity to do. Observe your family and friends carefully and answer the following questions. Here are the questions. A person who sings well, a person who tells funny jokes, a person who is good in sports, a person who is ready to help everyone, a person who can cook really well. So in this way, you can differentiate between your friends. Now let's see the likes and dislikes. We like different kinds of food, clothes, games, colors, books and movies. Our likes and dislikes are greatly influenced by our family. For example, members of a vegetarian family generally like to eat vegetarian food. Families like in South India generally like to eat dosa, idli and sambar, while a family living in Bihar like litti chokha. Different members within a family too can have different tastes. You might like to eat ice cream while your sister likes gulab jamun. Our likes and dislikes influenced by our peer groups too. We may like same kind of movies, books or music as our friends. Now moving on further, our next topic is from one generation to the next. Each family has a set of traditions and values. Many of them are passed from one generation to the next. For example, religious beliefs of a family are often passed on to the next generation. Occupation too are passed from one generation to the next. For example, children of parents involved in weaving take up weaving too as their occupation. However, this is not always true. As we already know, physical features like colors of hair, eyes, height and skin are passed from parents to their children. Now let's see the fascinating fact. Some diseases like diabetes, Down syndrome and heart disease can be passed from one generation to the next. Such diseases are called hereditary disease. Here you can see we have an activity. List any 4 values or traditions you have learned from your family. So students, you have to write down some traditions and beliefs which you gain from your family. Our senses. Our eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin are our sense organs. They help us to see, smell, hear, taste and feel the things around us. Whenever our sense organs feel something, they send a message to our brain through the nerves. The brain interprets the message and send a message back to our sense organs through the nerves. Our sense organs act accordingly. However, one or more sense organs are not fully developed in some people. They may not be able to see, hear or speak properly. Some of them might have mental difficulties. Such people are called differently abled people. Now let's understand about Braille. Braille is a type of writing system used by visually impaired or blind. Each alphabet is represented by different numbers and arrangement of raised dots. These alphabets can be recognized by touching them. You can see use of Braille. Now let's see the fascinating fact. Braille was invented by a Frenchman, Louis Braille, at the age of 15. He himself lost his sight in childhood due to an accident. In addition to alphabets, Braille is used to denote numbers and punctuations too. Now moving on to the next topic, that is helping differently abled people. Differently abled people are special people. They need our love, care and attention. We should help them whenever they require it. Our government has taken some steps to help such people. Buses have low floors have been introduced to allow easy climbing and alighting of disabled persons. Special ramps have been built in some government buildings, railways and shopping centers to help people who use wheelchairs. Our national news channels telecast news in sign language for people who cannot hear. Many educational institutes and vocational courses have been opened which have facilities for helping them. Here you can see a kid helping a blind man. So students, you should also help differently abled people. Now, let's see differently abled achievers. People who are differently abled are not less than anyone else. They are equally capable of achieving a great success in life. Let us learn about some of them. Here we have some examples. Vincent van Gogh, a famous painter, suffered from a mental illness. His paintings are appreciated the world over. Here you can see the picture of Vincent van Gogh. Now, Helen Keller. You must have heard of Helen Keller. A famous author, lecturer and activist, was blind, deaf and mute. She overcome her disability and achieved great success. Here you can see Helen Keller. Now, Beethoven. One of the biggest music composers of the world was deaf. He learned to play piano and created beautiful music. Here you can see the picture of Beethoven. Now students, let's find out these differently abled people who become successful despite their disabilities. Recognize these pictures of Stephen Hawking and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Thank you kids. Bye-bye. We will meet in next class. Till then, revise the chapter and bye-bye.